This is Bev, and welcome to the Path of Currency. In today's video, I have a 96 map test of City Square using Metamorph, Harbinger, and Metamorph and Harbinger sextants. I will see how good this test is. This is kind of a low investment alch and go test. I just bought City Squares, I alched them, I chiseled them. Well, I chiseled and I alched them. And this is the Atlas tree. So I have Harbinger, Metamorph, and the map drop nodes allocated. So basically the aim of this goal is to just drop catalysts, drop fracturing orbs, and sustain maps to either sell or use. Oh, and I'm also adding essence. So we will see what the profit looks like after I do these 96 maps. Alright, so this is going to be the first map. I'll be using essence on the map device, as this is I have essence on the tree as well.
Spreading chaos into new realms.
So I'm gonna rush the boss first. It's just the altars are good. We're gonna go with Exile altars for this, because we don't need quant. Rogue Metamorph, giving pretty good reward. I will be skipping Crucible. But feel free to do Crucible. I just don't like Crucible.
The last legacy of a forgotten empire.
When I'm ready, I'm not.
I know I said I'm going to do Exile. I have Eater allocated, I just forgot to change. We're taking these sulphites because we can turn the azurite we get in the map into money, and it also gives us a nice little movement speed buff and a damage buff. Also, my build has no HP. It's worth noting I'm running the Gilded Scarab sextant. I've done the math on it and it just seems like free profit, so figured why not run it. Although it's worth noting it's only profitable if you buy it for kind of cheap. I had to search on TFT for like 5 minutes to find someone selling it for 40 chaos. If you buy it at 50 chaos, it does not seem worth it. And that's the math. You can do the Metamorph. I'm not sure how tanky this will be, but we're about to find out. That wasn't too bad. I had my Metamorph tab empty, so we'll figure out how good everything was after I do the map. Alright, we're back, and this is what my Metamorph tab looks like after 96 maps. I have 113 prismatic catalysts, 88 ferto, and you'll notice that I basically have nothing of the cheap catalysts, and that's because I vendored them all. If you didn't know, there's a vendor recipe where you can vendor 3 of a catalyst and it will turn into another one. It's weighted, so you have a really low chance of getting the good ones, but I didn't want to deal with selling hundreds of cheap catalysts, so this is an alternative method to where you can save time and just turn everything into the expensive ones and sell those. As for the profit, it was pretty good money. So far, based on my spreadsheet, it seemed to be around 7 divine net profit per hour. So I have all my stuff sorted into tabs. I didn't like make it pretty, but I sorted it based on the affinities. So map sustain was extremely good. I dropped all these maps. This tab filled up, so then I put the rest of the maps here. It was like around 200 maps in total, so I dropped on average 2 maps a map. I also have a bunch of stacked decks. This is my essence tab. I vendored all my screaming essences, and everything left is shrieking or deafening, and then my remnants. There's just a bunch of random div cards in here because my filter is bad, and there's some fossils. Most of this stuff isn't taken into account because it's not worth enough for Exons to pick it up, so I didn't put it in the spreadsheet. The stacked decks are taken into account though. This is what my scarab tab looks like. As you can see, I have a lot of gilded scarabs due to the sextant. I also got a bunch of scarabs from the explosions, the loot goblin conversion, which happened more than I thought it would. Aside from that, nothing too notable in here, just the invitation. This is the raw currency, lots of chaos because I ran Exarch. Got around 80 sextants, which seems kind of low, I think, for 100 maps. I also only dropped 1 divine orb in the entire test, which also seems low because Metamorph is supposed to drop divine orbs rather frequently. Metamorph, I noticed, was dropping me a lot of exalts, so I think I just got unlucky with Metamorph. Although, not all these are from Metamorph because I ran Harbinger as well. Notably, I got 1 fracturing orb and 5 shards. I did not drop a full orb. These were all either stacks of 1, 2, 3, or 4. So if you get lucky, you could actually get like more, like 2 orbs and 4 shards. And that is about it for the tabs. I have this tab. This was all of the organ loot. So I would get the organs and run them, and I put everything into this tab, and I price this tab separately. And if you're wondering how I do organs, this regex right here, it's div kata fossil currency scarabs. So this will just find organs that have things that I want, and I just don't run the other ones. I can put this regex in the description or in a comment. So basically, the only good ones, in my opinion, are ones that have fossils, currency, divination cards, which give stack deck, scarabs, which are always worth something. And this regex will just help you find what you want, and then you can just vendor the other ones for 3 to 1 in case you don't have enough. Like this. This is just rare. Rare. It's bad, so I would vendor them. Yeah, that's how I did Metamorph. I would say Tane's lab was very much worth it. I actually dropped more divines in Tane's lab than I did in the maps. But I might have also gotten lucky with that. As you can see, there's 1 exalt, 3 divine. Tane's lab just drops a bunch of everything in the game. But it was pretty time efficient. I timed myself. I did about 90, I want to say 90 metamorphs in his lab, and it took me around 30 minutes. And just on that, it's like 30 minutes for 8 divines. This tab is about 8 divines, so you can do the math. It seems worth it to me, as long as you just sort the good ones. We can jump into the spreadsheet. I have my expenses listed here, and my revenue. If you're curious about anything, you can always leave a comment. I have a link to the tree that I use right here. I know I went over the tree in the start of the video, but if you have any questions about the tree, feel free to leave a comment. After doing the test, I don't think I would change anything about this tree. I did try using Wealth of Knowledge for a few maps, and it did not seem like it was worth it. I didn't notice any difference in what the Metamorph was dropping. And you'd have to take away points like some map nodes. I took away the map nodes. But you'd lose value if you took it, in my opinion. Other than that, we can get into some breakdown. So I spent around 21 divines doing these 96 maps, and I made 60 divines back. So I would say that's a pretty good return rate. Each map took me around 3.5 minutes to run, so I could run about 17 maps an hour, which is 7 divines net profit per hour. The entire test, if I was extremely focused, took me around 5.5 hours for 40 divines in net profit. 60 divines raw profit. I have some is it worth it questions here. Is Harbinger worth it? I would say yes. Is the Catalyst dupe worth it? I would say no. If you're thinking about running the Sextant, I would say it's not worth it just because it's so hard to buy. There's like no stock and it makes your Metamorphs extremely tanky. I would not run the Catalyst dupe unless you have a extremely strong build. And finally, is the Gilded Sextant worth it? I hard-coded this in before I even started the test. It just seems like it's free money. It's worth it. I got this price 5.2 based on the average PoE Ninja value of each scarab, and I got 300 scarabs in total. And then I multiplied it by 0.9 because if you're bulk selling them on TFT, you'll probably not sell them for 100%. It'll be 90% for Gilded scarabs. Another thing is you're going to want to buy these sextants at 40 chaos or less, because if you change this just even a tad, so say you bought it for 45 chaos instead of 40, your rate of return goes to 30%. And let's say you bought it for 50, now it's 17%, and that's basically not worth your time, not worth the time it takes to buy the sextant. So as long as you can get it for 40, you can get them fast, I would run them. If not, just forget about it. It's not integral to the strategy at all. It's just extra profit that you can throw on the map for 3 passive points. And finally, I have my resonators here. I was able to buy 168 singular resonators after doing the 96 map, and I got around, like I said, 200 map returns back. I have them priced at 5.27 chaos. It's because I was looking at the bulk rates for City Square and for Toxic Sewer, and it's around 1 divine for 37 maps. And these maps do sell, because people like me, I bought 96, I'll probably sell them back or use them for another test. In the end, I would recommend this strategy for anyone who has a very strong build who can kill tanky monsters very fast. If we go back into game here, I was finding I was having issues sometimes against the Metamorphs, and I thought they were very tanky, so I decided to run a Uber Searing Exarch test to see if my damage was the issue or not. I killed Uber Searing Exarch in one phase, and some of the Metamorphs lived longer than Uber Searing Exarch. So you're gonna want a lot of damage to do this strategy. For reference, I have around, I want to say 60 million DPS. So that's with the Sextant though. So if you're not running the Sextant, you don't need as much damage. Also, take this node on the tree. It will make your Metamorphs it will make your Metamorphs way easier. These 3 points are worth it just to save you time. You don't want to be dying to Metamorph. Anyway, that is it for the video. If you have any questions, please leave a comment below. And thanks for watching. Peace.